Well, I'm very pleased now to be joined by Simon Boyd, who is the sales director of SmoothSkin. Simon, thanks very much indeed for joining me.
No problem, David. It's all nice to see you.
I'm surprised you're still awake. You must have had one hell of a 10, 15 days. So
I think the black rings under my eyes give it away a little bit, to be honest with you.
So Simon, tell us a little bit about your experience this year on 11.11, and in particular, from a operator's perspective, how the change in the structure from the emphasis on a day to the emphasis on a 15-day period has worked out for you.
I think there's two things. I think this is our third experience of 11.11 as a business. So we're very used to planning this peak, and we start our preparation for 11.11 from May onwards, really. It's interesting to see the change in shape. I think every business that operates in China has seen a change in commercial shape, with a peak at the start of the month and then another peak on 11.11 itself. But actually, I think that's worked from our perspective in that it's allowed us to focus our attention over a longer period of time, from the third week in October. And we've also seen a lot of pre-order activity that we've been able to fulfill a little bit earlier. So overall, we think it's been a positive. We think it's created a longer shopping event and some more demand.
Now, I know you've been an early adopter of live streaming. You had live streaming again this year with the king of live streaming. So tell us a little bit about what you did and what you think the impact might have been.
I think it's fairly open knowledge that live streaming has had a massive impact on the Chinese consumer this year, and it's grown very, very quickly, far more quickly than any brand could have imagined, and it's now a really important part of our sales mix. As you said, we worked with Austin Lee on 2 promotions this year, and the sales volumes are ahead of our expectations, and the overall experience has been very positive for our business. Again, it's a very positive experience, but again, it has moved business away from the core Tmall platforms, and it will overall next year change the overall marketing mix that we invest in China, and it will probably change our marketing mix in the first half of the year as well. I think that's a really interesting challenge for brands, is that the mix of our marketing mix in China has changed in the last 3 months. And it will become more and more live stream focused, and the power of those live streamers have with brands like ours is growing.
Now, as a sales director for an international company, how do you view this, in a sense, completely new channel of live streaming? We've had sort of channels. Obviously, e-commerce has grown over the course of the last few years, but the channels have been relatively fixed, and here comes, what in ostensibly a completely new sales channel has become a premium sales channel really, really fast.
I think that's the way of the world. I've always spoken, David, about how quickly things change, and I think with our retail backgrounds, the only constant is retailers change. I think the difference is that the change is happening much more quickly, and new channels appear much more quickly than they used to. So I think live streaming is a great example of that. I think the growth of Tmall, both Tmall Global and TMC, is a great example of that in China, and how quickly they've scaled. But also, you can look outside of the Alibaba environment, look at the sheer speed of growth that businesses such as Douyin have had in terms of attracting subscribers. And I think what's exciting for businesses like ours is this year it's about live streaming, but next year, what's it going to be about, and what's the new channel for next year? Because I think it's almost impossible now to have a fixed channel strategy globally, because something new is always going to appear that changes the way that your business operates. And great businesses will be the ones that can be fast enough to be able to react to those changes in the market. And I think it's a big challenge for strategically led large brands, because if you're strategically led and it takes you 2 years to plan implementation, you're going to miss the opportunities that happen very quickly in the market.
Now, to what extent do you think that the success you've had in live streaming could be replicable across other territories you operate in?
I think live streaming is going to grow, particularly across Southeast Asia. And I think it's very much in its infancy in the US and in Europe. But the challenge in those markets is that they don't have the fully integrated experience that the Alibaba environment allows customers to buy into. And I think until the Western technology platforms, stroke retail platforms, find a way of fully integrating the solution for the customer in one place, it's going to be very, very difficult to get the same level of traction with Western consumers. But I do believe in Southeast Asia, particularly, it's going to grow very, very quickly. And I see Alibaba as being central to that.
Now, most people have talked about this whole notion of 11/11, the shopping festivals, as something that is almost now an 18-month, maybe 2-year sort of planning cycle, and you have to start planning very early. When do you start planning for 11/11?
So we start 6 months ahead,
right,
every year. But what we do say is that we're flexible within that plan. You can't have a fixed plan in May for delivery in November. I mean, that just doesn't work. You need to be flexible within that plan and be engaging with the right partners, the right parts of the Alibaba environment, but also the right marketing mix that you can then adapt as you get closer to the actual day. I think anybody who fixed their plan in May has probably failed at 11/11 this year, given they'll have missed the opportunities.
Yeah.
The opportunities that were there.
May was another world in China.
Absolutely, and you know, and frankly, March will be another world again. And our job with our partner in China, who does a fantastic job, is to make sure that we're flexible enough to take advantage of those opportunities. You know, you just don't know, particularly in China, what the next big thing is going to be unless you're absolutely looking at the business every hour, every day. And it's very hard to do that from the West. You need a really strong local business to be able to, local partner to be able to do that.
Now, one of the things of 11/11 this year being over a longer period of time is you have the ability to see what's going on and to make some course corrections. In reality, is that possible to do if you set yourself up in the right way?
I think to some extent it is. And I think if you've got the right partner, you can make those quick adjustments that allow you to continue to grow your business. And we were able to make some adjustments during the period, the 11/11 period, to create some incremental growth, which was fantastic. But again, you've got to understand that this is an hourly schedule through 11/11. You're not able to take your eye away from the business for more than an hour. And our Chinese partner does a great job at monitoring the market every minute of the day from the 25th of October all the way through 11/11 to make sure that we're maximizing those opportunities. It's a very different mindset to working with the platforms in the West, because to some extent it does move slightly slower. It's a more planned environment, and there isn't the pace of change that you get within the Alibaba environment in China.
Now, to conclude, Simon, a few reflections from you of this year's 11/11, and then maybe some sage advice to people who are watching, thinking, actually, next year I'm going to participate.
I think, I mean, for us, it's still a fun. 3 years into our journey in China, it's still a phenomenally exciting environment, and 11/11 for us has been hugely successful. We would never dream 3 years ago of doing the volumes that we do now in such a short period of time in China. And that's something that, we're very proud of, and we're very proud of the growth that we've had in the environment. But I think I'd say to any business, if you're going to enter China, be prepared to fail, but fail fast. Try lots of things and move really quickly. You've got to research the market very, very in detail and find a great model to operate quickly. But then don't be afraid to change that model as the market conditions change and adapt. And we'll certainly, when we do our review over the next few days of 11/11, be looking to make changes to our model over the next few months that continues. So it's continued the success of the business through 2021. The days of having a fixed business model in a market with a fixed marketing mix for more than 6 months is gone. And you need to be very aware of that if you're looking to enter this market particularly.
Well, Simon Boyd, Sales Director of SmoothSkin, thank you very much indeed for joining us. It's much appreciated.
Pleasure, David. Thank you.